Hello and welcome to another KeeperHub video. The intention of today's video is just a very high-level overview of KeeperHub. So you may be a builder associated with one of the many hackathons we host, or you might just be curious about how you can connect an agent up to KeeperHub and start setting up some Web3 automations. So just a blast from memory. KeeperHub is built by ex-Maker DevOps engineers who were responsible for the first Keeper, so first Web3 automations in DeFi, and initially built KeeperHub as a hub, as the name entails, for all your keepers. Still can be used for that matter, but we've also now expanded our use case and moved more into this agentic sphere, and now allowing you to connect up your agents to KeeperHub and making sure that your agents not only can now detect great DeFi strategies, but they can also then go ahead and execute them. And why is that? Well, in order to make sure that your agents can actually transact on chain and be sort of that last mile before, between a detection and then executing, you need to make sure that you have simulations before transacting or before sending. You need to have estimate gas retry logics in place. You need to have retries on failure because of network congestion. You need to make sure that you're also routing privately for MEV protection. And another very important aspect of it, you need to make sure that you kind of have an audit log of what your agent's actually doing on chain. And these are all elements that KeeperHub bakes into its platform, as well as also adding this kind of user-friendly interface that lets you also see all your agents' executions in one place. So if we go into start building here, you'll see there's a few different ways that you can sign into the platform. You can log in via Google, GitHub. You can also create an account, or you can use one of your wallet providers. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip this now, and I'm going to change the screen that I'm sharing. And here you'll see that I've already logged into my KeeperHub account. And at first glance, you can see we have, the organization name in the top left. We have our wallet in the top right. And then we also have some properties here on the left. What you see here in the middle is our wallet scanner. And the wallet scanner's intention is just kind of help you get started, kind of get familiar with what workflows and what automations you can set up. The best way to use it actually is to, go ahead and actually paste in your own wallet, because then what this will do is it will kind of detect what are you holding, what kind of funds, and then suggest automations and strategies that you can actually use based on, let's say you're holding USDT or USDS, and there might be some saving workflows in place. If you don't have a wallet, or you're not holding any funds, or you don't want to add it here, you can also just click, one of these examples, like a stablecoin holder. Could say, curious to see what kind of workflows come up there. There you can see there's an Aave stablecoin yield opportunity, USDT via Sparkland, via Morpho Blue. There's a few different options here. Let's take the SUSDS, so the savings for Skies, on-chain stablecoin. You can preview it, and then it's also it's picked one of those random kind of wallet holding USDS. So that's the one that's being used. So obviously that you would want to change to your own. Then it has the token address, obviously, populating the destination address. Now, it also then suggests adding your email alert, but then it's as simple as actually just clicking use this workflow. And what will happen is that workflow will now be created, and it will then also be running. So I'm just going to go ahead and disable it. But here we had a schedule, which was every 15 minutes. We have the token balance, is a balance above 0, then send yield alert. So this is a very basic workflow, and you can see actually we didn't really use any sort of agents to create this. So here you can kind of view KeeperHub in many ways as sort of an extension of what n8n is for Web 2, but then just for Web 3. In this interface, it is a visual drag and drop, so you don't have to use the wallet scanner to create workflows. You can also go ahead and create them yourselves, and you'll see that we have, 30 odd nodes here, protocol specific ones, but we also have more generic like system nodes where you can add code, mathematical sequences for aggregation, HTTP requests, database queries, webhooks as well. So you can really customize all your automations as you wish. But much easier, connect up your KeeperHub to your agent via our MCP server and actually be prompting it instead. The first time you actually log into your account, you won't just be thrown into it as I've just done. You will go through this very high level onboarding process. It will take you through the interface and get familiar with kind of the things at hand and how to actually go about it. One thing that is very worth pointing out is the wallet that I mentioned up here. This is the organization wallet. So this is a turnkey wallet that you will be assigned upon signing in. And this is a non-custodial wallet and it's provisioned automatically. So you don't actually, well, you own the keys, we don't own the keys, turnkey doesn't own the key. And this is used to fund any sort of write actions on chain because obviously there will be gas involved. The great thing that we want to do to make sure it's as easy as possible, even with the free account, is actually we sponsor some gas. So even with the free account, you get $1 sponsored. So you can actually, there's nothing inhibiting you from actually getting up and running and testing it out. Anything beyond that, then we have different pay plans, but there's always different tiers of gas sponsorship available that we will provide. And the free plan will be free forever with several thousand executions, even with this $1 gas sponsored. All right, so if we go back now, there is another thing that I want to show you, and that is connect an agent. In the settings panel, we have a lot of different things, but connect an agent is, I would say, the most important one, because at the end of the day, we are the execution layer for agents. So how do you become that? Well, what you want to do here is you want to look through the different agents available. You might be using Claude Code, Claude Desktop by a cowork, OpenClaw, Codex, Goose, Gemini, etc., etc. We also have plugins for various different frameworks. So it could be a Hermes framework, Eve plugin. We also have some others coming up that we will be adding. But these are all available to make sure that you can get set up and running with your agent. So if it is, Claude Desktop, to simply, copy this, JSON file and paste this into your Claude Desktop and have the MCP connection set up and running. At any time, you can also find our docs page here, which will be super useful just to kind of get more context to it. Like if you want to rather, use terminal, then you can use our CLI that's available in the documentation here. Or again, if you wanted to use our MCP, if you go to our AI tools here, you'll have a much more detailed kind of description of how it works, as well as also the number of tools that we have available for you to use. With the MCP connection, it's as simple as just like prompting your agent, your chosen framework, or whatever else it may be with the request, and said workflow will then be created in KeeperHub as automation. Now, the automations and workflows that you now have created, can be triggered by the agent, but they can also be triggered by these schedules as we discussed. And these schedules here can be, cron-based, so time-based, but they can also be, webhook-based, event-based, so based off smart contracts, or block-based. Once you've then, decided, okay, now I have all my, let's say, yield-bearing workflows and agents in place, you can then go ahead and categorize them into projects and tags, so you kind of have this nice holistic overview of all your workflows for DeFi. Then we have a section called Analytics, and I haven't really run any workflows the past 24 hours on this, but with it, you can actually see all your workflows that are running. So let's say you have some running 24/7, every minute, every second, you name it. You have all the executions listed here, success rates, any failures, being able to kind of break down like what was the error behind this one. Here there was an HTTP 405. Being able to kind of uncover what went wrong and fix them if ever needed. Then we also have an activity framework where you can actually see kind of recent changes, security sensitive changes to your organization's workflows. So this is more if you decide, as an organization, you know, I want to manage it. I want to make sure that I have, you know, multiple users on it. You know, you can then go ahead and give them certain administrative rights, so that the user, you know, only can do certain things in the organization. But even if you do give them access, it's good to kind of have this, again, a bit of an audit trail, if you will, where you can then monitor everything that has happened and the biggest changes to them, and also being able to then revert any changes that have been made that maybe broke a workflow. I did mention audit trail for the actual agents as well. So let me kind of show you an example of that. So here we have, this is a workflow that auto stakes your Sky rewards. And then, yeah, well, first of all, claims the Sky rewards that you've staked and then auto stakes them immediately just to compound that interest. You can see here that if this is running, you know, constantly, you also have the breakdown of actually what happened. So this is even 3 months ago and we still have the logs. You can see that it ran every hour. So you have the output here. You can see it checked earned rewards. So that proved to be true. So there were rewards available. Did the rewards exceed 100 Sky tokens? Yes. And what it did was it went ahead and claimed those rewards. And then it's also able to approve the Sky spend, lock them back into the Sky Vault, and you're compounding your interest. So all of this is at hand. You know, it's super important that you just go and play with it, you know, get familiar with it. But at the end of the day, also, you know, KeeperHub is open source. So if you're interested in contributing in any way, you know, get in touch with us. I would say that Discord is our main medium for, you know, getting in direct touch with myself or any of the engineers. We always want to have a conversation, whether it be, you know, about questions or suggestions on how to kind of connect, or maybe different frameworks that you want to use, this and that. We host hackathons on the regular as well. So if you are a builder and want to, you know, partake in them, you know, make sure that you also join our community to stay up to date. But even if you're just a lurker, you're also welcome just to join in and see, you know, the different posts and ideas that we're sharing with the community. So I think I don't want to go into much more detail than that for now, at least. If you do run into any questions, please reach out to me. I'm always available and I'll always do my utmost to answer within, you know, respectable time frames. So hope this was useful and I hope you have a great day.